But Gympie is much more than just about music. Over the past 30 years, the local Apex Club has developed the festival into Australia's largest regional not-for-profit charity event. Thousands of volunteers have raised and distributed almost $15 million for good causes from one end of the country to the other. This year's Rural Aid Appeal will support the wonderful work of the Starlight Foundation, which operates mostly out of the major city-based children's hospitals. It doesn't receive any government funding, relying completely on the generosity of the community and gigs like the Gympie Muster. But as Prue Adams reports, the difference it can make is priceless.
Abel was a prem of 34 weeks. And because he was a preemie, they normally put them in an incubator. And that's when the doctor noticed he had his first seizure. And they had a scan and noticed that he has a bleed in the right side of his brain. And from then on, that was when they thought he had cerebral palsy. And he's been diagnosed with that ever since.
There you are, you hang on to
Abel Mayava is 15 years old, but can't do the things other teenagers take for granted.
push. 1, 2, 3, push.
Do you enjoy the swimming, Abel?
Do you like swimming? Yes.
Yes.
Born with cerebral palsy, he's also had to put up with the curvature of his spine. Earlier this year, Abel finally had surgery to help straighten his back.
So it was hard for us to make that decision because we weren't sure. We've never seen anybody before that's gone through, and just the way it sounded, a 6-hour operation, and it was like just too much for a young man.
He's a classic child that we help at Starlight because he's had long-term and recurrent hospitalisations and operations.
Hi.
For sick children in the major paediatric hospitals, the Starlight Foundation is well known. Outsiders may be less familiar with it.
Starlight was started in Australia 23 years ago, and it was originally started as a wish-granting organisation for children, and very exciting, this year we've just granted our 7,000th wish.
Hey Christopher, can you play that tune for us?
But about 20 years ago we realised that life in a hospital for a child, when they're suffering from an illness, recovering from an accident, they can be in hospital for really long periods of time.
Oh, I like it.
So at Starlight we created our Starlight Express Room and our Captain Starlight program.
My name's Lynn Pinson and I'm a Captain Starlight with Starlight Children's Foundation, and I've been a captain for 7 years, and I actually started as a volunteer, and I got to see a Captain Starlight in progress, and I realised that was what I wanted to do.
Ready?
Gotcha. On a daily basis, I entertain many, many children. I visit the children on the wards. I conduct a Starlight TV show as well in the morning with other Captain Starlights, and we broadcast that live to kids in the hospital that can come and visit us in the Starlight room, or they can also participate at their bedsides.
Starlight Express Rooms are magical places within the hospital. So a hospital has to be, by very definition, very clinical and can be quite severe in certain ways. And also it's an area where the kids, they can be pushed and poked and have their temperatures taken, that they lose all control over their life. And so a Starlight Express Room is a place where it's a distraction, it's a haven for these kids, and it's a place where we give them their control back.
Oh, they're wonderful. When a child is sick in hospital, like with Abel, Captain Starlight would come and visit on the wards and see if they needed some, just to make them happy because they're in pain and that. So they'll bring up computer games and this big machine that you can play DVDs and things in it, so you can have that in your room. And just making sure that they make the kids, their minds away from pain.
The coastal town of Whyalla is home to the Mayava family. Originally from Samoa, Miki Mayava says the white sand beaches and pale blue waters of Whyalla are reminders of her island home. One of 4 children, Abel attends a special school and is completing Year 10.
All right, you ready? Okay, going down.
He had to travel 5 hours to Adelaide's Women's and Children's Hospital for his spinal surgery earlier in the year. And it was while he was there that a social worker brought up the issue of a Starlight wish.
Mary was assigned to us, and she just came on board and she said, has Abel ever had a wish granted, or, you know, when he was in hospital? And we said, no, we've never heard of it, but he would really like to have a laptop because his other siblings have been given laptops through the school, but we know that he'll never get around to having one. And she said, oh, don't worry, we'll put it through to Starlight Foundation, and they always help out.
Every child that is referred to us is granted a wish, but we work closely with the clinicians in making sure that they refer the children who really need this and for whom this will make an enormous difference, not only for the child but also for the family.
A brand new laptop was collected from the hospital in June.
Yeah, and Abel didn't know. He said he wanted a laptop, and I said, we're going to go and get it. And when we arrived at hospital, he thought, no, Mum, what am I doing in hospital? But when he finally got to open the packages, there were 4 big packages there for him to open.
Oh, the cake.
Yeah, the cake. He really loved the chocolate cake. And do some work now. And type a letter. I always wanted to know if Abel could read, and he's been learning to write, but sometimes it just doesn't look right. You. So with the laptop and the keyboard that he's received from it, he's able to type his name and sort of recognise the letters and put that together. So I can see that he can read, hopefully in the near future. Backspace. He loves downloading and putting songs into the laptop. And he wants to make sure everybody else hears the songs. Abel has a wide range of music. He likes gospel, country music.
No, the dad okay.
That's his dad's music, the country music.
I don't like it.
Yeah, so he likes a variety, classicals and, yeah.
The Beatles, obviously.
He loves the Beatles, ABBA, and he likes singing to them too.
Every day, the Starlight Foundation grants one wish to one deserving child. And the foundation also provides an online social networking platform and an outreach program for children in Aboriginal communities. All of this done with donations.
We completely rely on the generosity of the community, of organisations, groups like the Gympie Muster. That's exactly where our funding comes from. Even though we're delivering most of our programs into public hospitals, we don't actually receive any government funding, and so it's that generosity that we rely on.
We're normally very shy people. We normally wouldn't ask for anything, so we feel really blessed that Abel's been able to get this wish, and we're very grateful to Starlight Foundation for granting Abel this wish.
Prue Adams with the story on the Starlight Foundation. Now, if you'd like to help them in this wonderful work they do, you can. Here's the website, www.muster.com.au. Just follow the links to the Rural Aid Appeal, and as in previous years, all the profits from the sale of Muster merchandise will go to this very worthy cause.